Oh, welcome to bonus episode of Suikoden 2, in which the tour of Dunan Castle will be concluded and 100 stars of destiny will be talked to. So, the story now starts as if the castle is much more expansive and sprawling, starts from the, you could say, the outside areas and then goes to the exterior, smaller outside buildings and then starts to go up from below to upwards to up in the main castle. So let's just start from right here with Shiro. That's a nice doggy. And Kinnison. And in addition to all the 100 stars wandering about, there's also extras and bring in just color. Yeah, Bolgan and Rina and Ailey or Ailey. And of course there would be Gengen, the veteran of the Victor's mercenaries, and Gabocha. Oh, it feels good on his fur. Well, I guess when you are that kind of walking dog man, it might be that case. And there's another corridor over here, and a nice little telescope and a chat with the Huntress Ida. Yep, they spent lots of effort to make this place much feel natural. And the library building. Having a couple of characters around here, like Koyu. Yeah, well, books are not boring. Books are very good and necessary items. And of course, the mage and scholar Madzus. Oh, yeah, I guess he has read a lot because his job demands him to read books. And of course, the main librarian, lovely eye candy Emilia. Oh, and brought some books as well. And of course, then there would be the map maker Templeton, who allows you to get some info of location as well. Like, let's see, Kyaro. What does he say about that? Oh, yeah, yep, it shows practically every location of this game. Yep, map has been made a lot through all the reconnaissance work and all that, even though player might not have been in those locations yet, at least some of them. So transferring to these rear areas with some more forest and there's the monster trainer Buddy Oaks. And this apparently takes me to to, you could say, the martial arts area of the main castle, which takes it here. And that's just a extra character. But let's just look at the dojo. Well, there's the ninja Kasumi and Sasuke. Yeah, he might not be too keen about it. And Mondo and the samurai master Genshu. Oh! Yeah, they are studying, which is good. And of course, this would be the room where knights all be. And there would be the hilariously crazy Maximilian and the gamblers who Shilo. But yeah, I know the game's rules, and I'm gonna play around for them. And it doesn't really matter what happens. No scores. No scores. And no score. I think this one is a bag unless I do something bad. What the? The game went crazy. But it gives me points or nothing. Oh yeah, I won. Gained some money. And that's it. I think he might be winning more with the other gamblers present. And of course then there would be Freed and Grandma Taki. Yeah, that's a nice little fact. And the private detective Richmond. And he throws his coin again. Yeah, you can learn some funny things about written characters So you can, of course, I could ask about how you recruit somebody, giving you a hint, or then or get some extra written info about character. So let's just get him to study more about this giant squid. And of course, there would be Dr. Juan's assistant Tuta and Dr. Juan himself. So, but that would be a little extra area or from the outside. So now transferring to the other, you could say, side area of the castle, which is, or I think proper term for that is wing. Yeah, but the other wing of the place. So of course there would be the Gordon's trade house. And what is he doing? Well, he sells trade stuff, but nothing you could say really necessary stuff. Although he may sometimes sell ornaments. And there's Raura's, the scroll making machine, and let's just make her to make this wind orb into a scrolls, which can be sold and all that kind of stuff. So what is up here? Nothing interesting. They just modeled it interestingly. So to the other location of the building, which is to say includes the blacksmith Tessai. Yeah, he can make better weapons. So let's just make him sharpen Victor's sword. And that's it. Just a little demonstration of what he can do. And the other merchant house and building, or merchant building. Nothing upstairs either, but a couple of beds and the armor salesman Hans. Yeah, he's a weird pronouncing German, I would guess. And he of course sells every armor you have gotten from the game so far. And going downwards. Oh, well, there's Stallion. He's running around as expected. And Scholar of Sindar Lorelei. And well, and of course the Jean, the eye candy Rune Master. Leaving to this building, there is of course the appraiser Lebrant. And he still provides his services. So that was the side area of the castle, so it would now be this other little side area of the castle, which would have Tetsu's bathhouse, which now has a very grim looking just metal barrels being used to boil people, but it can be, you can have much fancier backgrounds for the places, like lovely jungle backgrounds or very beautiful Roman marble bath, and of course I would say something like Japanese style wooden bath, which is what I'm gonna take. But not much. I don't know, does this have any function in this game beyond looking pretty? And of course there would be the restaurant, which would allow you to get food from Haiyo. So let's just order some food. Yep. And to get these food items to the menu, you have to find specific ingredients. So it's a kind of complex thing, but food does provide the best healing items of the game, so that makes sense. I guess she prefers rougher food. Oh yeah, well, and Zamza seems to have a lot of attitude. And once again, Lorelei showed up in here again with another comment, so the characters walk about a bit. Oh yeah, and even Killy seems to have some sort of preference to this, liking to this break. So it's a lovely little place of eating in here. So going to this little side room, to this little area, to the actual backstage, which has a band of Pico, Alberto, and Anna Lee. And of course, with them you can listen to other musics again.
「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」「君の声が聞こえる」
Yep, quite handy. And there's a guitar and bass. So it's a quite very simplistic but all necessary parts. And of course you can have a dance with Karen, which has you can get rewards from it, but it's kind of pointless endeavor. But it's a nice little mini game. And of course Clive standing in his shadow or corner. And Mr. Mew, very competent diplomat. Although most likely somebody who half-assedly stumbles through solutions instead. And Bob with his lovely dreadlocks. And now just running through past this part into the room of big and most important events of the entire game happening near this game. But there's of course Sheena. And of course the big and important meeting room with Miss Miklotov, Camus, Apple, Main Strategy, Shu, Kiba, Klaus, Hauser, Victor and Ridley. Basically all the big military leaders Badger Army has gathered to itself. Sheena doesn't count as one, he's basically just a representative of Toran, and he's not even the best expert from Toran, that would be Kasumi. And this would be a room which would have knightly characters in here, like Tomo, and of course Georg Prime, the expert military soldier. Going up to this room, of course, to get some other rooms. There would be Humphrey, and of course the hormone adult teenager Nina. Yep, that's the official title I'm using about her, and Grumpy Jess. And this would also be something like you could say separate room of the main castle instead of wing. So you could say that this castle is not that evenly built, and of course there would be extras to the main entry hall of the castle with the inventor Adlai, but he doesn't look too fun. And of course Jude, the sculptor. And you can also find all the necessary plans items to build this massive fancy statue. But well, I don't have full plans, so I can't make any horrifying abomination. And there's Olan, the bodyguard, and Luke guarding the bad tablets of stars or destiny. And of course the lovely ditzy teleporter Vicky. Well, but this time not bothering to do that. And another entryway, this time much more of the more mundane type, including the storage keeper Barbara. She isn't particularly, you could say, friendly about service, but does her job. And of course, most very important location for Badger Army, the bar. And Anita, some kind of lady. And Ricky Maru was deciding to get himself drunk. And Amada was also getting himself drunk. Oh, and Flick, well, he wasn't getting himself drunk, but he was still there. And two of the bandits around here, and even sees that Loben doesn't have much of trust about what kind of character she's gotten herself involved with. And of course there would be Hilda's and Alex's convenience store and inn. He sells stuff, which is handy. Yeah, the Wind of Sleep is quite a useless spell. Not because that it would, in a sense, be useless, but those you would really want to use it tend to have unpleasantly immunity towards such trickery, and those that you would, such spells would usually do their work, do not are something that you can just more conveniently wipe out with some brutal violence of your own. But going to this another corridor, there would be some side rooms walking about to the actual ranch. And we got the redneck Tony. And he allows you to play whack-a-mole, which is gonna be quite fun, but not that fun little mini game. And the ranch has cattle, dogs, pigs, sheep, chickens. It works quite well. And of course, Yuzu is familiar with animal husbandry, so the shepherd boy or girl, I don't know, does her job quite well. So just running through here again, back to the front corridor, to the cellars and the more underground part of the area. Well, luckily they really put you right here where you belong, which is to say in prison. Oh yeah, well, that's a real funny way to think that. Yep, I recruited one of Stars of Destiny by scamming him to enter a place where he would be very unfriendly received as being thrown to prison. But here's the crypt, which would have, of course, Gantetsu. Oh, that's actually a nice priestly thing to do. And of course, it would be expected that Sierra the vampire would be here. Or at least some of her time would be spent here. Which this is a nice little detail that they added, that there's even a crypt in this cast. They added a crypt to cast. And harbor, which has seen much more active use thanks to all the characters needing to travel with boats. Well, of course, there would be some. There would be gadget. Oh, near water. And there's lovely monstrosity Abitsboar. And Yamko would allow to have a side game of fishing, which are quite typical minigames in minigames. But in this game, it's not that fun, so I'm not gonna bother to do that. Yeah, that's his function. He doesn't join to fight unlike he did in Toran Republic. I guess just having to tag along with Tai-Ho is too much of a stress for him. So once again, let's try heading this way. Did I actually go this way? Yeah, the castle is quite big and sprawling, so this kind of backtracking around the same locations might happen. But it is not that much of a big deal. Here would be one grand room with Spearmaster Tsai of the Fire Spears, and of course Shin and Teresa, the mayor of Green Hill, or at least the acting mayor of Green Hill, and going to the roof garden kind of area with Windowmaker and the acoustician Connell being here, allowing you to do some tinkering with settings, and the flying squirrels. Oh yeah, well, those are Simon and Vincent. They seem to be more or less completely in some sort of fancy posh world of their own. Absolute weirdos. And interestingly enough, not all characters appear to be present. I haven't seen much of wingers around. But the castle is still quite impressively large and sprawling. And there's Peshmerga, but he's unusually high. I would have expected creepy guy like him being much more familiar with the basement. But now it's heading towards the actual roof of the castle, which is there just to look nice. And there's the lovely griffin standing guard over the whole massive array of castle. And this would be, you could say, sanctum sanctorum of the castle, meant to be guard this room. The headquarters and private chamber of Commander Genji of Badger Army. To get through to here, a lot of people would need to be defeated. And that would is kind of point of all the fortifications and bodyguards and facilities of this massive build, although quite sprawling and I would say unnecessarily cluttered, occasionally unnecessarily cluttered extra area. And of course there would be time to just look at here, check out the martial arts dojo, which would have of course all these oriental type characters, the samurai and martial artists, including of course Kasumi and Keisuke. Yep, they were given job to do, they're doing it. And of course the Monster Hunter Batty Oaks Wood isn't that keen about this location, but it is not much of a big deal. So that more or less concludes the tour of this beautiful location. There were characters around here. Flying Squirrel and Chaco, the winger, and oh yes, it seems to have some sort of talent for scaring people, and he seems to be enjoying it a lot. But that was one of the towers of this place. I think that was the only tower that you can actually enter. But that would conclude the tour of Dunan Castle. It's quite a location. See you next time.